now is your chance, as long as you have a lazy few million, of course. Australian-born multi-millionaire Ian Gary Smith is planning to offload some of the 21 islands he owns in Papua New Guinea's remote Milne Bay. Now, they're called the Conflict Islands. They're untouched, pristine wilderness, and they could be yours provided you're prepared to protect them. Well, travel writer Ian Neubauer travelled to the Conflict Islands recently, and he joins us now to tell us more about them. Ian, great to have your company there.
Thank you, Ingrid.
How come they're called the Conflict Islands? I mean, PNG often gets this sort of bad rap for being dangerous. Where do you stand on that?
Yes, the PNG does have a bad rap, and maybe we'll talk about that later on. But they're called the Conflict Islands after a ship, the HMV Conflict. It was a British a Navy warship which sunk on those reefs more than 100 years ago.
Now, the owner of these islands, Ian Gary Smith, he made his fortune in pharmaceuticals. How did he end up, though, in PNG then?
Well, Ian Gary Smith is a very interesting character. He's not your usual multi-millionaire. He actually accompanied Prince Charles, I think, when he was 16 years old, to PNG, fell in love with it, the way I did, and has gone back many times. He's also explored for oil and gas there. He's made a bit of money there. He's done all right for himself, and now he's trying to give back. So he's actually bought these islands, but not to build giant hotels to make even more money. He actually wants to conserve them. And to conserve them, he believes that there has to be limited development there on a very high level.
All right, so tell us a bit about the islands. Is there anything at all in them? Any hotels you can stay at? What's the accommodation like?
Well, the accommodation, there's about 6 little bungalows. They're quite comfortable. They're air conditioned. They've got private ensuite. What you won't get is you won't get a lap pool. You won't get a butler. However, you've got a giant lap pool, the ocean, all to yourself, full of magnificent fish and coral. They've got a lovely little clubhouse up there where there's an in-house chef who makes a delicious meal, which the staff will go and catch for you that day and then cook it at night.
So is that the only food you can really have, local kind of food?
Look, they import steaks from Australia, they import a lot of good wine from Australia and New Zealand as well. But I mean, what else do you need? You're on an island, you've got coconuts, you've got great fish, they make delicious desserts, and of course they top it up with these great wines. That was really unexpected.
So what else do you do on these islands? Is it just about really just swimming and relaxing?
It is about that. I mean, if you're into nature, of course, the biology there, the National Geographic magazine went there a couple of years ago, and they actually identified it as the most biologically diverse coral system in the world. There's over 100 species of fish. There's about 400 or 500 species of coral. Now, they've also got lots of great water toys there. They've got yachts. They've got outriggers where you can go sailing traditional style with the locals. They've got big fishing boats. And there's a couple of charter companies there that are taking interest and taking fishermen from Australia who are paying a lot of money to go there and throw their lines in the water. And they're pulling out dog-tube tuna weighing hundreds of kilos. It really is quite extraordinary.
So is it expensive to stay there? Can you just choose to stay in a bungalow?
Well, look, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. You've got to look at what you're getting. Now, people pay a lot of money for privacy. I think that's a really important thing in high-end tourism today. You don't get more private than this. Now, you can take all 6 bungalows, and you can take the whole island and the 21 islands to yourself for 1 week for about 30 grand. If you want to go as a couple, it's about $10,000 twin share to have one of those bungalows. And they're only available several weeks a year on that basis for couple twin share. Otherwise, it has to be taken as a whole resort option.
Yeah, okay. Well, how do you get there though? What is that complicated?
Look, everything in PNG is a bit complicated, but it's worthwhile. So to get, first of all, you need to go to Port Moresby. And you can do that by flying either Virgin from Brisbane. They've got a very cheap and fast service. Or you can go on Air New Guinea and buy a ticket which will take you to Port Moresby, and then you transfer to a place called Milne Bay, about an hour from Port Moresby. And from there, they'll come and pick you up on their nice chartered boat and take you to the islands.
And I guess once you're there, how do you get around? I mean, are they small enough just to walk the whole island?
You can walk around the island. I mean, how to get there? I mean, you're in paradise. Where do you want to go? They do have boats there, as I say. They'll take you around. They'll show you some of the other islands. They'll take you to several reef areas if you're a scuba diver. It's really one of the top 5 places in the world, I'd have to say, for scuba diving. But yeah, really by boat is the only way to get around. But it's really magnificent. Just walking around, sitting on a beach, finding it by yourself, being there with your better half, and just taking it all in. I mean, we travel so far to get places, but you're already in one of the most supremely pristine places in the world. Just sit back and relax and take it in. Forget about city life.
All right, so for travellers interested in exploring PNG, where else around there is worth a visit?
Well, PNG has got so much to offer. They really do call it the land of 1,000 journeys. One of my favourite places in PNG is actually the highlands. Now you go up there and it's another world. Now we've got to remember that until 1933 these people never even saw white people. When the first white people, the Lay brothers, gold explorers from Toowoomba in Queensland went there, they thought they were dead people. They thought they were their dead returned spirits who'd come back from the dead, and that's why they were white. They'd lost their colour. But up there, it's real mountain country, and it's beautiful, and there's jungles, and there's lots of good eco properties. New Guinea Tour do excellent stuff up there. Then there's plenty of islands offshore. Actually, PNG has 600 offshore islands, and many of them are pristine. And we do hear bad news about PNG, about the violence and this and that and conflicts. But that's all in the cities. You go to these islands, they're island people, they're village people. They'll do nothing, they offer you nothing but big smiles and hospitalities.
And just quickly, did you say these islands are for sale? How much is an island?
These islands are for sale. So what Ian Gary Smith is doing, he's looking for, they're not just for sale to anyone. So if you want to go there and build a McDonald's or a casino, he's not going to sell them to you. He's looking for like-minded investors who want to conserve them and protect them. So they're starting off at about $3 to $5 million. Now, what is so special? It might seem a lot of money, but what's so special about these islands is that they form an atoll. They're a ring of islands, and inside is a lagoon, and they've actually got deep-sea ship access. So you can actually take a ship in there with your pontoon and build your own private paradise. But if you don't have $5 million to spare, he's also selling plots for about $500,000, and I believe he's already sold his first one.
All right, well, there you have it. Ian Newbow, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
And